Hey there, and welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hello.
This is where we take the source material that you send over articles, notes, maybe some research, and we really get into it.
Yeah, we try to pull out the key insights, the stuff that really matters, and maybe connect some dots you hadn't seen.
Exactly. We want to help you get informed fast. So, for this deep dive, we've got some fascinating sources about a project called Cura.
Mm-hmm. Cura. It sits in a really interesting spot, doesn't it? Pets, Web3, DePIN, AI, all mixed together.
Totally. We've been looking through these excerpts describing what it is, its goals, the tech involved, how they're thinking about the market.
Yeah, there's quite a bit to unpack.
So our mission today is basically to understand what Cura is trying to achieve here. How does this blend of tech actually work for pets?
And why is it relevant now? Especially with, how much people care about their pets and how Web3 is evolving.
Right. Ready to see how tech's meeting our furry friends?
Let's do it. So the core idea, high level,
Yeah.
it's pretty ambitious. They want to integrate actual real-world pets into the Web3 space.
Okay, hang on. How? How do you do that? The source material points to hardware, right? A smart dog collar.
Exactly. That's the key piece. And it's described as more than just a simple tracker. It's got activity monitoring, location tracking. It's the physical link.
And how does it handle the data? That's where the tech blend comes in.
That's right. It leverages depin decentralized physical infrastructure networks and also decentralized AI.
depin and decentralized AI. So the collar collects data.
Right. Your dog's activity, location, maybe even some health indicators.
Yeah.
And the idea is to process this using decentralized AI.
Meaning not necessarily all going back to one company's central server.
Precisely. The goal is real-time, actionable insights for the owner, potentially with more privacy.
And the source mentions a really unique angle, monetizing the pet data.
Yeah, enabling owners to potentially earn from their pet's data. Like your dog's walk could generate tokens.
Definitely puts a different spin on walkies, doesn't it?
It really does. So the benefits they list go beyond just tracking. It's about enhancing pet safety, better care.
And owners earning tokens through daily activities.
Right, which they could then use in, like, an integrated reward store.
Plus, all that data feeds into something bigger, like a map.
Yeah, contributing to a big, detailed, pet-friendly map within their app, showing safe routes, parks, that kind of thing.
So the vision is use these collars to build a depin network.
Exactly. You're creating decentralized infrastructure, powered by pets, wearing these devices and the data they generate.
And they also mentioned AI again, building large AI models for pets.
Using all that collective data to understand pet behavior and health better. And they frame it as a way to experiment with privacy-focused AI, too.
That's interesting. It raises questions about, how valuable this kind of behavioral data is becoming.
And how decentralized tech might handle it differently, starting with pets.
Which leads us to the market opportunity. The source material talks about this, right? It's not exactly a small niche.
Not at all. The pet market is just massive. The source said something like expected to hit $300 billion by 2025.
Wow. $300 billion. That's huge.
It really shows how much people invest in their pets. You see the trend everywhere, pets as family members, huge focus on their health and well-being.
And there's a specific problem they're trying to solve, too, a really compelling one.
Yeah, this stat was, well, it was pretty shocking. In the U.S. alone, 2 million dogs go missing every year.
2 million? Okay, that immediately highlights a critical need, doesn't it? For better tracking, better safety.
Absolutely. It makes the case for this kind of tech very clearly.
So who are they aiming this at? Who's the target customer?
Well, the overall market is vast. Over 90 million pet-owning households in the U.S.
Okay.
But Cura seems to be targeting, specifically, households with higher incomes. The source mentioned over 60% have an annual income above $80.
So the collar itself is maybe positioned as more premium.
That seems to be the idea for the collar. But the Cura Map feature in the app, that could potentially reach a much wider audience, maybe all 90 million households, even if they don't buy the collar. Though, presumably, collar users get the most benefit and contribute the data.
Right. So huge market, clear need, specific target audience. But it can't be easy entering the space.
No, and the source is pretty open about the challenges. Things like the price point of hardware.
Always a factor with advanced tech.
Right. And privacy protection, that's huge when you're talking about data related to a beloved pet. Product reliability is another one. These things need to be tough.
And just competition, right. There are other pet trackers out there.
Definitely high competition.
Yeah.
But the source suggests their edge comes from this specific tech blend, AI, blockchain, IoT, they believe, that offers something new. enhances competitiveness beyond existing solutions.
Okay, let's talk about those features then. What does the actual product suite look like, according to the source?
It's basically three parts. There's the hardware, the collar, then the mobile app called PetsEdge.
PetsEdge, got it.
And within the app, there's the Cura Map feature we mentioned.
So starting with the collar, it's not just a GPS tracker.
No, described as much more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Engineered with a system on chip, like a mini computer,
Okay.
and a whole suite of sensors.
So it can track more than just where the dog is.
Exactly. Things like daily activity steps, calories burned, even heart rate monitoring.
Heart rate, wow.
Yeah, the idea is to give owners a much fuller picture of their pet's well-being. It can even suggest things like a daily step goal tailored to the specific pet.
That's quite personalized. Any safety features baked in?
Yes, mention storing emergency contact info directly on the collar, accessible somehow.
How does this stay connected?
Multiple ways. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and also LTEM.
LTEM, that's the low power cellular for IoT devices,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Good for sending small bits of data over long distances without killing the battery like regular LTE might.
And the location tech itself.
It uses both GPS and GLONASS.
Ah, the Russian equivalent to GPS. Using both gives better accuracy.
Yeah, more satellites means more redundancy, potentially better fixes, especially if buildings or trees are blocking some signals.
Okay, and you mentioned on-device processing earlier. The AI runs on the collar.
That's a key aspect.
Hmm.
The Sochi enables real-time data processing on the collar itself, running AI models.
So it can analyze health data or maybe route info right there.
Right. Giving immediate insights,
Mhm.
potentially faster and more privately than sending everything to the cloud first for analysis. Actionable stuff for the owner.
Okay, so the collar gathers data, does some processing. The owner interacts mainly via the app, PetsEdge. What does it do?
The source lists quite a few features. First, the advanced activity and health tracking steps, calories, sleep, goals, reports.
All that stuff. The fitness tracker aspect.
Pretty much. Then, safety and security, really important. Real-time GPS and Wi-Fi location tracking.
Wi-Fi location too. Interesting.
Yeah, it can help indoors where GPS struggles. Plus, geofencing alerts if the pet wanders off.
A virtual fence. That must be reassuring.
Absolutely. Also stores emergency contacts and even has a feature to find nearby emergency vets.
Angioneuraxis. What else?
Daily care and routine management. Things like reminders for feeding, meds, vaccinations, hydration.
Well, like a little pet PA?
Sort of, yeah. You can log expenses too, like vet bills or food costs, set health reminders. It aims to be a central hub.
Makes sense. Is it interactive? Does it ping you?
Yes, designed to be responsive, sends notifications for recommended walk times or alerts for things like a high heart rate detection, or even if the collar gets separated from your phone.
And there's a community aspect.
Yeah, features for sharing within a pet owner community. Pictures, advice, presumably.
Okay. And a shopping tab.
Right, where users can convert those points they earn from their pet's activity into discounts.
Ah, closing the loop on the token incentive.
Exactly. Discounts in an in-app marketplace for pet stuff. It's a clever way to keep people using the collar actively.
And finally, that Cura Map inside the app. What's its main function?
It's focused on safety and environmental info for pets.
So finding pet-friendly places?
That's part of it. Planning safe walks, helping with lost pet recovery by showing the last known track, and yeah, info on pet-friendly businesses, parks, restaurants, hotels, you name it.
Okay, let's shift gears to the tech underneath. The source mentions IoTeX integration. How does that fit in?
IoTeX seems to provide a lot of the core decentralized infrastructure and tools. It enhances the whole ecosystem.
They specifically mentioned W3B stream. What's its role?
The W3B stream is described as crucial for processing and streaming the data in real time, directly from the collar.
So it helps avoid the central cloud bottleneck.
Yeah, that's the idea. Better privacy, faster processing, and it supports that on-device TinyML we talked about.
Ah, okay. So TinyML runs on the collar chip, analyzes stuff like heart rate.
Right. Efficiently, without draining the battery.
And W3B stream helps manage that data flow off the device in a decentralized way.
That seems to be the connection, yeah. Handling the real-time stream.
What about IoTeX DDIDs, decentralized identifiers?
That's for security and ownership. Each pet's data gets a secure, unique identifier that the owner controls. Enhances trust and personalization.
Makes sense. Any other IoTeX tools mentioned?
A few others. IoPay for managing the tokens you earn.
Okay.
DePIN scan for transparency, letting people see the network activity, data contributions, token flows.
So you can verify the network is actually working.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And IoTube for asset transfers between different blockchains, which hints at maybe future interoperability.
Got it. So all these IoTeX pieces, W3B stream, DID, IOPay, DePIN scan, they work together to build that DePIN. Data flows from the caller, gets processed, securely identified, tokens managed, network visible, all fueled by pet activity.
That's the picture painted in the source material, yes.
Hmm.
The physical collar and its data powering a decentralized digital network.
Let's zoom in on the Edge AI component again. Why is running AI on the collar so important for them?
The source really emphasizes this. Using an advanced chipset lets them run AI right there on the device.
And the big advantages are,
Speed and privacy, mainly. Quick responses, getting insights almost instantly without waiting for a round trip to the cloud.
which is pretty critical if your dog is running off or something seems wrong.
Exactly. And it reduces the need for constant, perfect connectivity. Plus, processing sensitive health data locally can be seen as more private.
And that TinyML technique is key for battery life.
Yeah, tiny machine learning is specifically designed for resource-constrained devices like a collar. It monitors things like steps and heart rate efficiently.
What about securing that data on the device?
They mention using attribute-based access control, ABAC, and encryption.
ABAC, how's that different from regular passwords?
It's more sophisticated. Access isn't just based on who you are, but potentially other attributes like what device is asking, what data it wants, maybe even the time of day. It allows for much finer control. That plus encryption aims to lock the data down.
So only the owner, through their app, should be able to see the detailed insights.
That's the goal. And they also mention using multitask learning for the AI.
What does that mean?
It means the AI models learn from different types of data simultaneously. Maybe activity data combined with location or time. The idea is it makes the models more accurate and gives more nuanced insights by seeing the bigger picture.
That's quite advanced for pet tech. Okay, wrapping up, let's look at the team and their plan according to the source.
Yeah, the team backgrounds are interesting. A mix of DeFi GameFi founders.
So, Web3 natives.
Right. Plus an ex-investment banker, someone with a high-performance computing PhD from Carnegie Mellon.
Okay, serious compute power knowledge.
And a senior engineer from Amazon. So a blend of Web3, finance, deep tech, and scaling experience.
Seems like a relevant mix. And they laid out some initial milestones and funding needs.
They did. Milestone 1 is about designing the DApp and getting hardware prototypes made for testing. Planned for 5 weeks, asking for $15K. Deliverables are the designs, prototype plan, compliance checks.
Okay, initial design and prototyping. Milestone 2.
Website and DApp development, building the actual software. That's longer, 10 weeks, asking for $20Ks. They aim to deliver the finished site and app, tested thoroughly with user feedback incorporated. KPI mentioned is testing with 1,000 users.
Get it working and tested. Then milestone 3.
Marketing. Specifically, Twitter and community building, planned for 6 weeks, asking for $10. Deliverables are launching the campaign, engagement reports, promo content, and they have specific KPIs. Sell 5,000 collars and grow the community to over 30,000 users.
Ambitious targets. So adding that up, $15 plus $20K plus $10.
Yeah.
That's $45,000 USD total requested for these first 3 phases.
Correct. That's the initial funding outlined in the source to get Cura designed, built, tested, and start hitting the market.
Okay, so let's try and summarize this deep dive. We've looked at Cura, this project, trying to connect our pets to Web3 using a smart collar packed with tech.
Right, leveraging DePIN concepts and AI to not just track pets, but provide deep insights, enhance safety, and even create this new data economy around pet activity.
We touched on the huge market potential driven by how much we care for pets and, sadly, how many go missing.
And we walked through the products.
Yeah.
The collar itself with its sensors and on-device AI, the PetsEdge app acting as the control center, and the Cura Map for navigation and finding pet-friendly spots.
We also dug into the tech stack, how IoTeX tools like W3B Stream and DAD enable the decentralized data flow, and how Edge AI, using things like TinyML and multitask learning, provides those quick private insights on the collar itself, secured by ABAC.
So, thinking about all this, the better health tracking, the geofencing, maybe even earning rewards. Just consider your own pets or pets that, how could technology like this actually change the way we care for them day to day or the peace of mind we have?
And here's something else to chew on, stemming from that idea of building large AI models on pet data and their focus on privacy-focused AI. What are the implications, bigger picture, of creating these huge data sets based on animal behavior? And maybe more critically, could the specific ways they're trying to handle privacy for pets using decentralized tech and edge AI, could that actually set some kind of precedent or give us clues for how our own personal data might be managed in the future as these kinds of networks become more common? It's a fascinating thought that goes way beyond just finding the nearest dog park.